Welcome back to Modern Jubilees. This is a video to discuss current events. Once in a while, we should take a zoom out and see how what we're learning here from the Book of Jubilees really does apply very much to current events and to the world as we're seeing it unravel. Now, the boundaries that we went over from chapter 8 and 9 in the Book of Jubilees, in which Noah divides the earth among his children, is very, very significant. It always stands out as one of the most important parts of this book, even though the book is just filled with amazing and important stuff. Chapter 8 is something unique. It's not found elsewhere. It's not known to people unless they are familiar with it through Jubilees. And through the work that we did, discovering this map and making the boundaries very, very clear, there's really no excuse anymore for saying that we just didn't know about it. These boundaries are real, these boundaries are ancient, and these boundaries are a historical pact among humanity. We are all children of Noah, children of Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and we need to respect what was sworn to Noah and to one another to respect. Noah divides the earth so that everyone has a place to go to and so that there is order in this world, and order brings peace at the end of the day. And this isn't to say that people can't live wherever they want, or work wherever they want, or raise families wherever they want. That's not what it comes to say. What it comes to say is that there is a place for everybody in this world. That means that Japhethites, the white people that are so demonized these days, they have a place, and their place is Europe and Russia. That's the place for the white people. And it's not that they can't live anywhere else, but they must rule over these areas. So the idea that they opened their borders just completely and took in millions and millions and millions of people in a short amount of time, and people who happen to have very large families, and these people are not Japhethites. So if they were fleeing war in Syria, for example, then perhaps at a certain point they will need to go back to where they came from. But this is really the question, because if someone lives among you and they are very respectful of the culture that they are in, then it's fine. But if someone wants to live inside of Arabic culture, they will go to the Arabian Peninsula. There are many beautiful places that you can settle in the Arabian Peninsula and live among Arabs in an Arab culture. But if you are in Europe and you are a Japhethite, meaning a white person, and now all of a sudden the entire system that you're in is being run by Arabs. Arabs are mostly Semitic, but also a blend of Hamite. For example, Abraham's Hagar. Hagar was a Mitzrayimite. She was a Hamite, an African. She was an Egyptian. And there's plenty of other Egyptians in the lineage of the Arabs as well. So Arabs live right on the cusp there between Semite land and Hamite land. They're mostly Semite because they are a branch off of Abraham's family and mostly marry within themselves. But other than that, they're a blend. We're all a blend to an extent, but it's important to note that they are not only Semitic, that they are definitely a blend with Hamite at the end of the day. So if you are a blend of Semite with some Hamite and you are, settling en masse in Europe and now all the mayors are Arab, it's problematic. This is a problematic situation. Now, on the one hand, you might say, well, the Japhethites aren't reproducing. They're well below replacement rate. They're not having enough children. Their culture has fallen apart into secularism, which is death in a way. It's just doesn't yield families, doesn't yield communities. But on the other hand, it's still a wrong thing to conquer lands that were set apart for the children of Japheth. I would encourage perhaps European countries to open their borders more to American white people who might want to live there and settle there. The other thing is that Arab people are conquering large portions of Africa now and slaughtering Christians and tribal communities in order to make way for just a completely Arab culture. And while this is how Islam spread in the first place, to a large extent, it's very jarring to see. It's very jarring to understand that the Semite people, or the Arab people in particular, were not meant to just conquer the whole world. And this is the idea that China has too. China wants to conquer the world or have dominion over the world. We're not meant to do that. We're meant to have dominion over our own plots. Semites have their plots, and Japhethites have their plots, and Hamites have their plots, and there are subdivisions within these plots. But at the very least, we should understand these three major boundaries, these major boundaries between the plots of the different children that is sworn to Noah, that is sworn in the presence of a holy judge, an angel. And this is one of the most ancient pacts that exists in the universe. And so it's not good. It's not good. It's a big problem, and it needs to be solved because it's violence that is spreading, and it's not good. You go to the Arabian Peninsula and you'll meet Arabs. You'll go to the area of the Arabian Peninsula and you'll meet Arabs, and most are not bad people at all, and are good people. And it's just so unfortunate that people in the name of Islam and people in the name of Arabs are committing such absolute atrocities. And then people think in America, in the Western world, where things are so simplified and people are so miseducated, and people think that now, oh, this is like the white people versus the black people, and so we need to choose the black people. Like, this isn't a game of backgammon. It's not a game where it's just duality, like black and white, and the black people are always the good guys and the white people are always the bad guys, and you're gonna dress this black and white glasses onto everything going on. That's way too simplified. That's not how this world works. And we need a much better education for our youth in America. And we need people to stand their ground in their countries and in their nations and within their borders. If you're not standing your ground in your borders, then you're helping these other people to sin gravely against this pact, this ancient pact. It is very important that the people, specifically of Japheth, but also of Ham, defend themselves against this influx of a very different culture and a very different nationality and people taking over lands that don't belong to them. That's it. I just wanted to give you this perspective from the Book of Jubilees, that defending your borders and your boundaries and your cultures and preserving your ancient cultures is not a bad thing, and it is a great thing. So that's the difficulty in democracies, because now majority rules, and if you just have enough people move there, then that's it, they conquered you, because now they get to vote in their own people, and now they're ruling democratically, but according to the ancient texts, they're not supposed to be ruling. So maybe the democracy system needs to be rethought, because there is a place for everybody, and it isn't right for people from different nations to rule over ancestral lands and nations of other people. The Western world is a different topic, but for this mainland, the ancient world, this is very clear. All right, this is your update. Let us know what you think. God bless you, and God bless the strong and brave men and women who are defending borders all around the world for the sake of peace, for the sake of order, and for the sake of the ancient pact that we made long ago and that still holds today. Thank you very much for listening. This is Modern Jubilees, and we will see you next time.